So, a good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, or good night. My name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And my name is James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James, and you've come to Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks and Rolls. I'm handling the chat tonight, so please do chat with us, and I'll pass it over to Beth, and she will talk directly to you if you are here live in person.
That's right. And if you are not here live in person, you can always leave a comment later, and I will respond later when I see your comment. So, I see we have a bunch of people already.
Oh,
How
yes,
nice.
Catalina sends a big heart of love. Thank you, Catalina. Same back
Thank
at
you,
you.
thank you, thank you.
And Tracy says hello and sends a heart of love and a big smile. Thank you, Tracy. Sends
Hello
back at
and
ya.
big smile back. So tonight I want to talk about something that comes up a lot in our lives, which is that sometimes we just need to act very quickly, but we really need to be thinking short term. Now, that
Wait,
seems,
you mean long term or short term?
I mean, nothing wrong with me.
I guess that because it's in the title.
Thank you.
It's
It's
long
been
term.
a very hectic day. And did we just get another hello?
Yeah, big hello from Elizabeth. She sends a big wave and a heart of love. Thank you,
Hello.
Elizabeth.
So, anyway, you can see what kind of condition I'm in. It's been very, very crazy, wild, hectic. And somebody's supposed to be in here moving out a couch that's full of bugs, but they haven't shown up. So, we said, please get here before the show, and they're not here. So, we don't know if they're coming or they aren't coming. But if
you
they
did
don't,
text
oh,
them to come
look,
after the show.
look, another
And
human.
Karen is here, live and here, and she sends 3 big hearts of love.
Yay,
Back at
live
you.
and here. So, what am I talking about? Well, in a way, maybe you think it's obvious. Well, we have to act short term, but we have to think long term. But, maybe you think that's obvious, but I don't think it's
How often
obvious.
do we really act?
How
on that?
often, exactly.
I think we live in a society of think and act short term.
That's right. Very true. So when I say sometimes we do have to act short term, I mean, for example, if you're bleeding, you don't sit there and say, now, I wonder what the cause of that is. Or, it's just like, oh my goodness. Does this go back to the time you fell out of the tree when you were 3 days old?
Yes, am I accident prone?
Right.
How long has this been going on?
So, you do what you have to in order to stop the bleeding, at least most of the time. And you have to hope that that's the right thing to do. But if you're medically incompetent as the way I am, then you really don't know. But that's what you think.
Oh, here's
there
a
we
fun
go.
comment from April. Woohoo, Granny Rocks.
Ah, thank you.
Yay.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm rocking tonight. April has been joining us lately, and she's a delight. So we're so happy to have her back. And so, but the problem is, so many of us really don't come back and think it through long term. We think we've solved the problem because we've stopped the symptom, or we have taken an action, right? I have acted. I am strong. They bomb us, we bomb them. There we go. Solution, problem is solved.
I act on impulse. I'm decisive.
That's right. So, when you read this discussion of these days about the Israel-Hamas troubles.
Todd says hi and sends a heart of love and big smiles. Thank you, Todd.
Hi there.
Back at you.
More love, more smiles back. It's like, okay, should I do this military action or should we do that military action? It's like, okay, how many people, there are some who are really thinking about this long term. What is the cause? What is the reason? But no, so many people are caught up in their reactivity and trying to prove something about themselves. And we have
Amy
another.
says, hi, Granny Rocks and Sweet Baby James. She sends 2 hearts of love. great topic. Like thinking a Band-Aid is enough when it isn't.
That's right.
That's a good one.
And a gun isn't enough either.
Oh, yeah, right.
Sometimes we need guns. But it's not the answer, is it? But see, we keep escalating short-term reactivity.
Right.
And we get, oh, I'm going to do my short-term reaction. You say, oh, well, I'm going to have a reaction to your reaction, and then I'm going to react to your reaction.
Never
And
mind
so,
the damage to the relationship.
hey, never mind the damage
So the
to
important thing is
everything.
being right. And being
To
tough and
justify
strong.
what we did to start with. You know, that's a lot of it. It's like, okay, we do something, we take an action, and now we have to explain it and justify it and do it again and again to keep thinking that it was the right thing to start with when maybe it wasn't even the right thing to start with. Maybe our short-term action was dumb. Oh my God, can that happen? Oh my God, can that happen?
Happens a lot.
But you see, people are very anxious and revved up. You know what I mean by revved up? And we feel so pressured to be decisive and to look smart or look strong or look functional or look something. And we're always trying to look something, and that's usually short term. Now, you think I'm kidding. Oh, I just dropped.
Your microphone device.
Yes. So you can say, can you just wait a moment until I get my microphone back on? Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Okay. We're very anxious. We're very reactive. We're very scared. We're very ignorant. That is not a really good place to be if you're trying to come up with long-term solutions. Now, when you say thinking long-term, what do I mean by that? Well, thinking long-term can be thinking in the past long-term, like, where did this come from? I read something interesting today about the Palestinians in Gaza and how they feel about Hamas. Now, I'm not saying it's accurate or it's complete. Yeah, I'm sounding good again. Well, that's because, see, my microphone case dropped on the floor, so I had to pick it up. Thank you.
Welcome back.
And I've plugged it back in, so now I'm plugged in again. So people are there. You know, there were some people who were talking about how the Palestinians feel about Hamas and what the history is. But we lump everything together because Arabs are Arabs, aren't they?
Oh, wow.
Muslims are Muslims. They're, first of all, they're dark. Secondly, they're foreign. Right. And then that's, you know, those things will definitely determine our reactions. And of course, not all Arabic people or Muslims are dark or even are Arabs. But anyway, the people in Gaza have been going through a lot for a very long time. And I mean, you have to go back for decades and decades and decades to even begin to understand what's going on today. So that would be, but that would be thinking long term. That would be thinking backwards long term, trying to understand the genesis of something. So they were talking about how the Palestinians, they want a decent economy. They want to have, you know, they've been under domination and having their lives controlled by a foreign power for a long time, and they're kind of sick of it, but they're also not that happy with Hamas. Anyway, whatever the facts are, you have to look back long term to understand anything. And when you don't understand anything, you tend to react, and not understanding means that you don't know what's wrong, why it's wrong, and what to do about it. You know, it's like, well, we've been attacked. And then, oh, the Israelis attacked us, and the Hamas has attacked them. And then you see the sad thing is that these other neighboring countries, they don't want the refugees from Gaza because they're afraid that the Israelis are going to say, well, we can't have a separate Palestinian state. This is Gaza, this is ours. Anyway, it's all pretty sick. Now, what do I also mean by thinking long term? I mean thinking forward long time. Like, what is really going to help people get along and have peace is meeting their needs. Oh my God, meeting people's needs. Have you heard much discussion about that? Now, I'm not here to talk about the Arabs and Hamas. Israel and Hamas tonight. I'm really talking about people. But this is such a glaring example. Right? There's so much emotion. And the problem is going to be solved by shutting up everybody who's pro-Palestinian in the country. Why don't we just deport them? Right. Kick them out of school. Get rid of them. That's a solution, isn't it? I read this. So supposedly intelligent people having these ridiculous arguments about whether pro-Palestinian people should be allowed to speak or be students in the United States or at the university. It's like, that is going to be a very good long-term solution to the antagonisms which started centuries ago, by the way. It didn't even start with the state of Israel, did it? But anyway, I am shocked, I am appalled, and I am not surprised at the level of conversation that you mostly hear in the media and everywhere about this situation and what to do about it, and everybody's making political hay. Now, are we thinking long term? I'm not noticing it. And when you do think long term and start talking about solutions about meeting everybody's needs, you are obviously a criminal if you want to meet the needs of everyone. You can only meet the needs of the people that, you're on their side and they're on your side, and a certain set of people who are like you or who you think are like you or who you think deserve it or whatever. Like, okay, the rest of the people, the fish and we don't need to meet their needs. We just have to go on.
In the territory of Palestine, over half the population is in desperate hunger deficits.
That's right.
That's a need. They
Food.
need to be fed.
That's right. They need help.
And the majority of the people in Palestine are under the age of 18.
And in addition to that, the Israelis need security.
Yeah, and they need security.
How are the Israelis supposed to relax and have an open heart when they also feel threatened? Everybody feels threatened. But how do you solve this in the long term when you're not even supposed to think about it because you're too busy trying to expel people from Congress because they don't agree with you or they're the wrong color or the wrong religion? It's sickening to me, just sickening. I mean it. I guess you're getting the idea that I'm upset about this. But it's not just this. This is an example. It's an example. We find this in our homes, in our society, a constant battle of short-term thinking of how are we going to win over.
Well, a perfect example is the short-term drive in our society for money, profit, at the expense of the long-term damage with climate change.
Absolutely.
They're threatening our very existence as humanity.
Absolutely. There is another comment, and I was just going to go there, James, and I'm glad you started.
Now, Amy says, it's so crazy that universities are asking for the names of the students who signed pro-Palestinian documents and then giving those names to companies so that the companies won't hire them. Jesus.
Yes.
And these companies are agreeing to this plan.
Yes.
This is practically like McCarthyism.
It's bad. It's really bad. It's bringing out the worst in us. And
it really is.
Believe me,
punishment for the actions of a few.
There's going to be an anti-Jewish backlash. Trust me. There always is. Because long term, a whole lot of people don't like the Jews and have their own reasons to back the Israelis. So anyway, and James is absolutely right. Short term, long term. Okay, I don't like my hair. It's curly. So I'm going to straighten it. Okay. Now, my God, somebody's horn is going. Do you want to go outside and see if it's our guy who's supposed to pick up our couch? Anyway, I will continue without sweet baby James for the moment, just in case that is the guy with the couch. So, I'm going to straighten my hair. Now, am I thinking about the long-term impact of putting those chemicals on my body? Mostly not. I have to look this way at the prom. I'm going to put Botox in my forehead so that you can't see my wrinkles. What's the impact of having all that Botox in your body? I don't know. The same thing happened with, do you remember? Breast implants. Oh, and then they started exploding. Years later. And then back to James' point, which is we rape and pillage the earth in order to have short-term gain, but we're not thinking long-term. Like, what happens to the environment and how much is it costing us because of our insurance rates going up, right? There are people in Florida now who can't afford their homeowners insurance and have to move. It's coming for all of us. Why are we so afraid to think long-term? Well, first of all, we're not trained for it. Is there anyone there, James? What are you going to do?
Everything's under control.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Everything is under control. Can you believe that? I don't. Nothing is ever under control. So let's say I'm really angry at somebody and they've made a mistake and I just start, rah, bleh. Short term, I'm feeling like, wah, I'm relaxed. I'm relieved. I got to be a bitch and I got to let them know and I got to do all of that. Now, tomorrow, I might need that person. Did I think long term? Or that person might be having a really bad day and they need my support in dealing with it. They're frustrated and upset too. I have to admit that I have gotten angry at people short term when my package is supposed to be ready, or they're supposed to have my prescription and nothing seems to be working right anywhere. And I want to get really, and then I caught this just happened to me the other day. It wasn't with that, it was something else. And I caught myself getting angry and so short term, yeah, I get this off my chest. But what am I doing to myself and the other person long term? I'm hurting both of us. And so I started talking to the people. This happened actually several times in the last few days where I actually said, oh yeah, this must be very frustrating and hard for you. And they said, yes, it is. And I said, things aren't working anywhere. And they said, that's right. And I said, boy, and I make mistakes too. And boy, do I ever make mistakes too.
And by the way, we have another comment.
All right.
Yes. Amy says, we are trained to believe that if you don't react immediately to something, but are willing to just stop and think about long-term actions we should consider, we are looking at as if we were weak and indecisive.
Absolutely correct. Exactly. We look like wimps.
And we have another comment. Robbie from Kathmandu, Nepal, says, hello, namaste.
Namaste. Peace, yes. Kathmandu. Thank you for coming tonight. We hope that you were here earlier and that you got to hear this whole program, because we can't be the only crazy people on the planet, right? So, this is just a call. Just a call for everyone to start paying attention to the long term. What are we doing to our guts? I mean, while we are exercising our right to blast other people, what's happening to our stress hormones, right?
Right.
Isn't it better to be peaceful and thoughtful and try to figure out solutions? Will we ever find solutions to any of our problems if we're angry and vindictive, trying to pretend we're strong, as Amy is saying, trying to look a certain way to one another? Will we even have a planet to worry about? So that's what I'm leaving you with. So I'm not solving the problem, but I'm bringing it up that we all need to start thinking, yes, sometimes I have to act immediately. If there is an immediate danger, I have to take care of it if I possibly can. But then I have to start thinking long-term backwards, long-term forwards. What led to this, and what can we do to make it better? And in the long term, what is always for the highest good is for everyone to have their needs met. So please like or love this show, and please share it with your friends, and please subscribe to our Facebook page. What do you call it? Follow our page.
Follow our page.
And if you come after the show, please leave a comment and I will respond to you. But most of all, let's start thinking long term. Let's not get into the need to defend our short-term behavior, which may have been appropriate or may even not have been appropriate. But let's remember that only peace and well-being is going to bring us the life that we all need.
Yes. Very good.
I think that's it. So I hope that you don't hear what we're hearing, but our guys are here and they're taking out the couch with the bugs, and isn't that amazing? So we love you and thank you so much, as always, for coming tonight to Lighting the Way, Granny Raps and Rocks. We'll be back next Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time. And tomorrow, don't forget, Magical Improvs. We're going to be playing music, uplifting, wonderful music that helps us in the short term and the long term.
Yes, and we may both be creating that music tomorrow.
That's right.
Depending on how we're guided.
I'm sure you'll be singing somewhat.
Yes.
Very much. Okay, guys, we love you. Bring this
so glad to have you
wisdom
with
to
us.
others. Spread the ideas. Not just our program, but share the ideas. Thank you for coming.
Yes, bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.